Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Human Resources in History. This podcast aims to offer insights from 7,000 years of human history to help modern human resource practices. I am your host, Makoto, a data scientist and journalist.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jin, your co-host. I am an HR professional and I love history.
All right, Jin, so what's our topic today?
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about a god.
A god.
Yes.
Which one? I mean, there are thousands of gods in the world, right?
Well, depends.
Especially like in Japan, in Japanese mythology, if you say a god, it could mean anything. Like it could mean a god of a toilet.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, like each piece of rice has 3 gods, right? Remember this?
Really?
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, I had to eat every single piece of rice.
Yeah.
Because my parents told me that each piece of rice has 3 gods.
That's a good education.
Yeah, right? But now once I was wondering if I should, if I'm allowed to eat gods. Right? But anyway, yeah, it's in Japan there are a lot of gods.
So which one are we talking about today?
You know, we love learning, right? If I mention the god of learning, probably that should sound familiar to you, especially to us Japanese.
The god of learning. Oh,
God
yeah,
of
of course. It's Sugawara no Michizane.
Exactly. Right? Well, I don't know if most of our listeners know about him. He's Japanese and he became the god of learning. Did you pray for academic success back in high school?
Yeah, of course. When I had a entrance exam for university, I didn't go to, what's the name of the main shrine that he's worshipped?
The Zaifu, right?
Yeah, it's the main shrine is located in Dazaifu in Kyushu in Southern Island in Japan.
Yes.
I didn't go there. I didn't go to Kyushu, but I went to the Yoshima shrine, which is in Tokyo. And
okay.
Also, they worship Michizane, right?
Yes,
right. And the shrine is located pretty close to Tokyo University. As far as I remember. And I prayed for success because I was trying to get into the Tokyo University.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a friend back in high school. He told me that if I pray there, the God gives you a power and you don't need to study hard anymore.
So can I ask you the result?
Well, I don't want to say the result, but it is true that later, I gave him a light punch in his face.
Okay. You followed his advice.
Yeah.
And you didn't study.
I didn't.
Okay.
Well, so we're going to get some kind of insights from Michizane today.
Yes, exactly. So, we're going to explore his life first, and I'm going to explain how he became the god of learning.
Sounds interesting.
Along the way, we will uncover insights which are valuable, not just for HR professionals and business leaders, but this time specifically for anyone who face challenges in their career, right? Particularly people who had to deal with unexpected and unfavorable career changes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I already see the conclusion. So the insight is that if you're struggling in your career, go pray for the God and you don't need to work hard anymore. Isn't that insights?
Well, it's up to you to get any kind of insights and do whatever you want. And then the result, you will know.
Okay, right. Sometimes you need to punch.
Yeah, punch yourself.
Punch myself.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so let me explain. Let me start with historical background, and I'm going to introduce Michizane. So his name is Sugawara no Michizane. Sugawara is his family name, and Michizane is his first name. He was born in 845, so it's more than 1,000 years ago, and during the early Heian period, which spanned from 794 to 1185. Okay, so the Heian period is named after the capital city Heian-kyo, which is modern-day Kyoto. And this Heian period is often as viewed as the peak of classical Japanese culture. And Michizane significantly contributed to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this era was characterized by the dominance of the imperial court and aristocracy, and also this time the development in poetry, literature, music, and art.
Okay, so the culture was really flourishing.
Yeah, previously, before this Heian period, Japan didn't have much culture, but after that, as we know, the great city Kyoto, there are a lot of beautiful culture there. The fundamentals of the culture come from the Heian period.
Okay.
So this period, but also Heian period saw a decline in central political power and give the rise to the powerful regional clans, which will be samurai.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is also the transition period. So now we are going to Michizane's story.
All right.
Michizane, as I mentioned, he was born in 845, and he was very, very clever. And he was actually from a scholarly family, and he excelled in academics and poetry from a young age. For example, by the age of 11, he was proficient in reading Chinese poetry.
No way. At the age of 11?
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't able to even read the Japanese properly.
Yeah. I mean, like most of us, we learned how to write and read characters until 18 years old?
Yeah.
Right? So 11 years old. Yeah, it's he was definitely very intelligent and genius.
Wow.
I assume that he was able to read and write in Japanese, of course. On top of that, he learned the poetry in Chinese. Not only Chinese, but poetry.
Wow. Okay. And then he was born in a very academic family.
Exactly. We're going to talk about that later.
Okay.
But his grandfather founded this very famous academy. But anyway, let's move on. And at the age of 18, he passed a challenging exam to enter Daigaku. Daigaku means university today, but back then it meant different. Daigaku meant a national academy that prepare future court officers.
Okay.
Right, so it's specific to develop the government officials.
Oh, I see.
Right.
As far as I remember, Japan, I think, introduced a new legal system based on the one China had around 7th century, right?
Yes, exactly.
With this system, we defined the central government and local governments. We introduced, I guess, the ministries, agencies, military system, and Japan became a lot more systematized than before. And I guess that Daigaku was established in order to train the future government officers, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So Japan at the time imported the system from China.
Yeah.
Right? That time it was a Zui and Tang dynasty, right? So they had a very advanced government management system. So Japan imported. And then Michizane entered Daigaku. The exam was very, very hard.
Yeah.
But he was clever and he passed the exam.
Wow.
Right? And then after he graduated from Daigaku, he gets several important government positions. Right? And in where his expertise in classical Chinese was highly valued for drafting official documents and communications, because many communications was the drafts was written in Chinese.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Like Latin. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then when he was 32, he was appointed to the Ministry of Ceremonial, which is very important high rank title.
Okay.
And the same year, he was named Doctorate of Literature, which was the highest academic position at Daigaku. And then, following his father Koriyoshi's death, when Michizane was at 35, he took charge of the Kanke Roka, which was a private school his grandfather Kiyotomo established for training future government officials.
Yeah, okay. That's the like a school that you mentioned early.
Yeah, exactly. And at the in early 30, he became the top of Daigaku. So,
wow.
Well, what I wanted to say here is he made a rapid rise.
Yeah, I mean, please stop embarrassing me anymore. I'm now at his age, basically, right? Like mid-30s, and I'm not running any private school for training future government officials. It sounds like he was climbing the corporate ladder really in a very successful way.
I think so. Yeah.
But you mentioned unexpected and unfavorable career transition earlier. So what happened to him?
Yeah, you don't have to feel bad about your own career. Okay? Because this is exactly what we're going to see. So, yes, as you guessed correctly, the career paths are seldom straightforward. And Michizane's journey was a testament to that. So let me explain. In 886, when he was 41 years old, I guess. Yes, 40 or 41 years old. He found himself appointed as the governor of Sanuki province. Right? Sanuki is one of the Japanese islands, which is not far from Kyoto.
Sanuki is one of the provinces in the southern islands.
Yeah, Shikoku.
Shikoku Island. Yeah.
Right. Today, it's just like 3-4 hours from Kyoto.
Yeah. But back then, I don't know how.
Yeah, back then, of course. Yeah, I think they needed to use a
ship.
Ship, yeah. But still, it's not far from Kyoto, right? And he saw this assignment as a demotion.
Oh, okay.
Right? And that left him very, very upset. During his farewell, he was too emotional and cried a lot because he was so sad about this demotion, according to him.
Oh, really?
Right? So, in fact, some people argue that this position was not necessarily a step down, given that previous governors of Sanuki were high-ranking officials. But still, Michizane saw this as a significant setback.
Okay, he didn't like going to the countryside?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I understand. So, let me share one of his poems, which is very funny.
Okay.
Right. So I think this was when I don't exactly remember when he read this in Sanuki or just before he went to Sanuki. But anyway, it's around that time. By the way, I translated by myself. So I don't want the listeners to think that this is the official translation.
Okay.
So let me read it out. From now on, I will be able to enjoy the wonderful scenery of the South Sea to the extent that I hate it. What's even more disgusting is that others call this a demotion. Thinking about it carefully, I believe that Sugawara family's business is not local government.
Oh my god.
That's what I thought as I strolled past the gates of the Confucius Temple.
Oh my
What do you think?
He is sulking like a puppy that didn't get food.
Yeah.
He's a god,
exactly.
right? Like, do gods sulk like this? I mean, basically he's sulking like, nobody understands me. Nobody listens to me. My family line is noble and we deserve the central government, not this kind of fucking countryside facing the South Sea. Like this.
Yes.
Yeah, he really hated the assignment. Oh my god.
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay. So then how he became the god of learning after this?
It's a mystery. Well, no mystery. I'm gonna decode it. So of course, Michizane's story doesn't end there. Despite his initial disappointment, he carried out his duties as governor with integrity. So he actually didn't have any outstanding achievements there during his time in Sanuki, but his poetry still reflects his effort, his genuine effort to improve the lives of the local people, and also he broadened his perspectives on managing local government affairs.
Okay, so yeah, I can see that he's a person. He's a different. If I were Michizane, I would keep sulking until somebody comforts me.
Yeah, well, that's it's a choice.
Yeah. Okay, so, but that's the difference between the god and me.
Well, we'll see later. Yeah.
Okay. It's funny that he is reflecting by himself in his poetry that he did genuine effort.
Well, no, he didn't say that. His poetry reflects. So, the historians read his poetry. and then so that he did his best there.
Oh, I thought he was directly like expressing.
I actually read some poetries that he wrote, but I'm not sure if he actually described how hard he worked there.
Okay. Yeah.
But then still we can see from his poetry that he did his effort, his genuine effort.
Okay.
So by the way, he wrote a lot of poetries when he was in Sanuki. Probably he had a lot of time there. But anyway, he did his best and he learned a lot there despite the demotion. And meanwhile, back in Kyoto, Emperor Uda was looking to diminish the Fujiwara clan's influence. Fujiwara clan is a dominant force that in the early to mid-Heian period. Emperor Uda aimed to elevate officials from outside the Fujiwara family. So thanks to that, Michizane benefited from this shift. Of course, Michizane is not from Fujiwara, right? Michizane is from Sugawara family. So after 4 years in Sanuki, he returned to the central government in Kyoto in 890 and eventually ascended to the position of Ministry of the Right, which is the third highest rank in the court.
Oh, wow.
Actually, he was promoted to almost the top management.
Wow.
Despite the demotion in Sanuki.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah. So what we can learn from here, guess from here is that he experienced a lot and learned a lot in Sanuki. And then he got a lot of insights about local governance. So that would probably contribute to his rapid rise to the Ministry of the Right. That's very interesting part of Michizane's journey. He got a unfavorable, unexpected assignment, and he was shocked, but he learned, and he showed his resilience, and after that he came back, and then he was promoted, and he made a way all the way to the Ministry of the Right, right? So it's kind of like roller coaster like career. But it looks like eventually his life seems successful.
Okay, well, it seems to be a really important insight, isn't it? Like his story shows us that our career paths are often influenced by unpredictable events and also decisions that are kind of beyond our control, right?
Yes. Right.
At first, he saw the transition as a demotion and setback, but due to this shift of political power balance, he was given another chance. And was he just lucky? Like, or his effort and hard work in Sanuki caught an eye of the Emperor Uda, and he was rewarded with position, which is the...
So, I didn't mention that, but he helped Emperor Uda when he was still in Sanuki.
Oh, okay.
So it was not only about his luck.
Okay, so he actually did a great job.
Yes, but still there are, as you said, there must have been a lot of different things that was beyond his control, right? So I would say it's a mix of his talent, capabilities, his skills, and his luck.
Okay.
And also the situation, environment, which are completely beyond his control.
Okay, so if I were asked to withdraw an insight from this, then it's going to be like, well, it's important to be resilient and open to personal growth when faced with unexpected changes in our careers. And well, I think this is a valuable lesson for individuals dealing with similar career uncertainties, and HR and business leaders as well, who need to navigate difficult conversations with their employees. No?
Yes, exactly. When you have team members or who are suffering from a new assignment because that was not what he or she expected, right? Yeah, so maybe I don't know if he can directly mention Michizane, but he can, you can share, this kind of a career path as well, and then you can support the person to learn from where they are.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. That's the most important insight I wanted to draw in this episode. And then I'd like to share with you an HR framework called the Theory of Planned Happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of this theory before?
No.
Okay, so this theory can be very helpful for those who are struggling to navigate their careers as they desire, or HR leaders and business leaders. So the theory of planned happenstance was developed by Stanford professor John Crumbles in the 1960s. Essentially, the theory suggests that instead of focusing solely on having specific plans for the future, we should also be open to finding opportunities in unplanned events.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right. Yeah.
Because nothing is predictable. And if you plan too much in detail without having a room for certain changes, I think that would kind of choke you in the end when unexpected things happen.
Yes, I agree. And, I don't think the theory of planned happenstance said that we should not make a specific plan or detailed plan, right? But more like we should not, stick to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. When the context and environment changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So actually, this theory, I think I got to know this like 10 years ago. It was very eye-opening. I personally have very detailed a long-term plan, but I try not to stick to it. Thanks to that theory.
From this theory.
Yeah, actually, this theory helped me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, in my career journey. So I think Michizane's experience exemplifies the essence of planned happenstance, right? Because although he initially felt heartbroken by the sudden shift in his career, he tried to identify opportunities within this unplanned event, and he actually learned. And then he came back to Kyoto and got promoted.
Is this why he is known as the god of learning? Because he was able to learn even from unexpected setbacks in his career?
Well, I wanted to say yes, but nah. This is actually not why. Not the reason why he's known as the god of learning nowadays. Really? Right? Because that story didn't end here. Yeah, he made up to the Ministry of the Right, but he had there's actually a bigger drama afterwards.
What happened?
So he faced another demotion. Yeah, due to a plot, made by his political enemies out of jealousy for his success. Right? He's not from Fujiwara family, but he was very clever. So there was some political enemies.
Oh, okay. People were jealous about his ability.
Yeah, as always, 1,000 years ago. But even nowadays, jealousy is one of the fundamental feeling that Homo sapiens can have, I guess. And he was sent to Dazaifu in Kyushu. Dazaifu is where he was
sent. It was not his will.
No. And along with his family. And, to make matters worse, he had to endure very harsh living conditions there. So it's almost like a prison. And unfortunately, shortly after his relocation, he
kind
passed
of
away.
Resembles the life of Napoleon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was sent to Saint Helena and Elba. And then eventually he was sent to Santa Helena and far from Europe. I think it was Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, near the coast of Africa.
Okay. And then he died there.
Yes. And also like Michizane. So in reality, he was exiled rather than simply demoted. So his life ended on a rather unhappy note.
Wow.
So that's the end of his life.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. But, however, this still doesn't explain why he's now seen as the god of learning, right?
Why?
So, let me explain another drama.
Okay.
The funny thing is that, and throughout history, there must have been so many great figures like Michizane, but who are forgotten after experiencing this kind of unfortunate endings, right?
There should be many.
Yeah, but from Michizane's case, people never forgot him. In fact, people couldn't forget him.
Okay.
So now you see why he's called the god of learning.
Is it because he was sulking even louder and people were hearing his voice?
Well, it's not far, actually. I don't know. Well, I don't think this is the right answer, but maybe he did that in his afterlife. I don't know. But this is what happened. A lot of natural disasters, such as plague, drought, and lightning strikes, struck Kyoto. So maybe because he cried a lot in the heaven, and then also several important figures in the court died, like people in the royal family, right? And the people of Kyoto attributed these calamities to Michizane's vengeful spirit. So he gained an unfortunate posthumous reputation.
But that's still...
It doesn't explain that he's... Because people in present-day Japan, like us, don't remember him as a vengeful spirit, right? Or some sort of
they're the
ghost.
god of learning.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is the dramatic transition from being a vengeful spirit to being worshipped as a god. Right? So the central government bestowed various prestigious titles upon Michizane posthumously, and many shrines were built to honor him and appease his vengeful spirit. Right? So because he was angry, and then people were scared, and then people gave a lot of things to him even after he died, and then built a lot of shrines. That is why there are a lot of tenmangu. Tenmangu is a shrine that worship Michizane specifically. So that is why he's now known as the god of learning.
That is an interesting turnaround. But what's the central government's motive behind this deification of Michizane? Is it simply because people found out that he did nothing wrong and he was rather a victim of a political plot? Or is there any other motives?
Well, I think, because he became a vengeful spirit, and back then people really believed this kind of spiritual things, right?
People feared him, right? But over the time, he became a good god.
Yeah, so, because many shrines were built, and Japanese people, we have this culture to go to shrines regularly. And then sometimes we don't really think about the god that we are worshipping. We just go there and we pray, right? So over time, like that was 1,000 years ago. So many people visited his shrines, and then they worshipped Michizane, over 1,000 years. So and then also he was he was known for his prodigy and academic success. People link his academic success to these shrines.
It's really interesting how the reputation of one person changes over hundreds and 1,000 years.
Yes. So have you ever experienced something similar to Michizane in your career?
I haven't had any unexpected career setbacks. Of course, not everything was due to my choice and under my control, but I think I naturally have this planned happenstance mindset. Especially, when I was working in Tokyo, my boss one day told me, "Hey Makoto, I decided to relocate you to Sendai." Sendai is a city in northern Japan where we had a small office. And this kind of involuntary relocation it's pretty common in Japanese companies, as you know. And it was not my choice either. But I decided to just accept the offer, and I lived in Sendai for 3 years in total. And well, it turned out that I learned a lot of things. There were so many new stories that I would have never covered in Tokyo, like agriculture, fishery, tourism, administration of local governments. And yeah, long story short, my experience in Sendai led me to decide, okay, I want to study data science. So, and I switched my career, and yeah, here I am. So I think trying to positively accept the changes that I didn't have control over, that was the best I could do. Did you have anything?
I don't think so.
But you had a really detailed career plan before.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I really enjoy kind of how to say serendipity or unexpected event that can completely change my career
I feel it.
Yeah, against my career.
Well, sometimes it's better to enjoy the changes that unexpectedly happen.
Yeah, so probably we've learned from Michizane then. But yeah, it's we never know. We may have this kind of a unfavorable, unexpected career transition at some point in the future. Let's say if you start your own business and it doesn't go well, and then you have to close your business for some reason. Of course, I don't want it to happen, but it can happen, right? So far, both of us haven't had this kind of things, but maybe in the future it can happen. So we should always keep Michizane in our mind. And then, first, read a poem and cry, but still do our best.
That's right. You can sulk, but just leave the sulking comments in a poem so that people, after 1,000 years, understand that you were sulking. Well, that might be the summarization of our session today, right? Yeah, it had been a very interesting story about Sugawara no Michizane's and his life and his career turnarounds. Well, success in the career is not solely defined by a linear path, but rather by the ability to, I would say, learn and grow from the experiences we encounter. And it's important to embrace the opportunities that arise from unplanned events and use them as stepping stones for personal and professional development. Well, it was fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and please check our blog as well, and see you next time.